Well, hey guys, let's talk about how to tighten saggy skin. Saggy skin is the result of loss of collagen and elastin in your skin, along with loss of the underlying supportive framework. That includes fat, muscle, and bone. Now, with age, our skin loses collagen and elastin. We have some bone resorption, and we also have redistribution of fat pockets. All of those contribute to a lot of saggy skin on the face and other body sides. But you also can develop saggy skin, increased skin laxity with rapid weight loss. Other things that contribute to skin laxity are going to be your lifestyle habits. If you have had excessive unprotected sun exposure, that's obviously going to accelerate age-related onset of skin laxity. If you smoke or drink alcohol in excess, not only does that contribute to decline in the collagen and elastin in your skin, but it negatively impacts your bones, your muscles, and the fat, creates a lot of free radical damage in the skin that leads to premature aging, including skin laxity. If you have a really bad diet that consists primarily of ultra-processed refined carbohydrates, that can contribute to the formation of advanced glycation end products, which weaken the collagen in your skin and lead to deep wrinkles and contribute to overall laxity. As a side note, I have a video all about sugar sag, basically explaining how diets high in refined carbohydrates and sugars contribute to premature aging and wrinkling of the skin, so check that out. Maybe you're interested in what can you do today as far as your skincare routine, skincare products. Is there anything out there that can actually address skin laxity? Sure, there are tons of serums and the like that allege they're going to tighten, firm the skin. Lower your expectations. What can you expect from skincare products? Okay, sunscreen is going to slow down and prevent loss of collagen and elastin due to excessive UV exposure, but it's not going to necessarily reverse laxity. That's an unrealistic expectation. Also, keep in mind, laxity is not just skin, but also the underlying supportive framework. Creams and lotions can moisturize the skin and improve hydration in the epidermis. So that's going to result in plumper skin cells, a smoother skin surface, and give the illusion of firmer skin. But it's not actually going to replace lost volume or truly pull back and tighten the skin. It can have a subtle plumping effect. But the plumping effect that you see with a moisturizer, whether it be a lotion or a cream, it's only going to be there so long as you stay consistent using it. What about antioxidants? Antioxidants show promise from an anti-aging perspective in that they slow down, in theory, free radical damage, which can generate a cascade that weakens your skin and downstream can impact collagen negatively. Now, we think about free radicals upon exposure to UV from the sun, creates a lot of free radical damage. Of course, our lifestyle factors like smoking, drinking alcohol in excess can cause a lot of oxidative stress. But then we have other environmental factors like pollution, infrared radiation that cause a lot of inflammation that can oxidize the lipids in our skin and generate a cascade of inflammatory events that ultimately can weaken our skin. Now, to what extent that really contributes majorly to laxity, again, it's not necessarily changing bone structure, underlying fat, but to a certain extent, it definitely plays a role in the health of our collagen. Antioxidants in skincare products, they are cosmetic ingredients. Formulation matters in terms of their efficacy. It's a type of ingredient that you just have to have some faith in that it's actually benefiting you. Antioxidants include things like niacinamide, soy isoflavones, green tea extracts, namely epigallocatechin gallate, coenzyme Q10. But don't get it twisted, they're not going to give you a facelift. If you incorporate a retinoid, such as a cosmetic retinol or a prescription retinoid, you may, with long-term consistent use, see a subtle tightening effect due to the benefits of those ingredients on collagen. They can increase collagen production and improve skin firmness. But again, they're not going to replace the underlying supportive framework of bone, fat, and muscle. You have the NuFace device, which yours truly reviewed, was it a year ago? NuFace is a microcurrent device that stimulates the muscles underneath the skin, and when those muscles are stimulated, they may swell up a bit temporarily. So when I used this device, I did notice a subtle plumping, firming effect of my skin, but it was short-lived. By the end of the day, it was kind of gone. So that is a device that a lot of people do see results with, but it's only going to be as good as you are consistently using it. This is a beauty tool. There's not much in the way of research backing the claims that it makes, but a lot of people find it's beneficial. And at any rate, in my experience using it, I found that it was kind of like a great way to tone the face, just to kind of give a more contoured makeup look. But I would not hang my hat on it, reversing laxity. Then you have the LED masks. Red light stimulates collagen production, and that too can have a plumping effect. It's not going to replace fat or bone or muscle loss, but it can have a plumping effect. And the Omnilux is what I used and tried out. I did see a subtle plumping effect, but like the NuFace, those results are only as good as you are at actually using the device and staying consistent with it. As soon as you stop using it, put it back in the drawer, the results go away and you're back to square one, which, you know, if you're highly motivated to stay consistent with these devices, I don't think they're useless, but just set your expectations. And again, they're not going to replace lost volume. Now, one controversial area is regarding facial exercises, whether that be facial exercise, facial yoga, or even just facial massage. And the popular things like gua sha, do these actually help to tighten the skin? Now, the research on all of these approaches is very conflicting and extremely limited. There are some small studies looking at facial exercises and facial massage, which suggest an improvement in the appearance of wrinkles, but there are no controls in these studies, and most of the studies rely on the subjects telling you that they think they look better. The other thing about these studies is that in many of them, the subjects were also counseled on appropriate skincare behaviors that also could impact wrinkle appearance, such as protecting the skin from the sun, moisturizing, staying hydrated. So to what extent it was merely the exercises or the lifestyle factors they were counseled on? The reason it's an area of controversy is because facial exercises, there are a few different types, but in theory, you know, some excessive facial muscle movement contributes to wrinkle formation, like frown lines, horizontal forehead lines, crow's feet. Those are the result of sun damage plus repetitive movement in those areas. So what muscle should you be working out? What type of exercises? There are different types of exercises like isometric exercises versus actually muscle movement. So which ones are best? Which muscles? Are any of them harmful? More research is needed. There are a lot of people online who show you how to do facial exercises, and some people are highly motivated to do them. They anecdotally report that they see benefit doing them. Just keep in mind that there aren't good studies on the benefit of these, and like I said, we always question, is it possible that you could be worsening the appearance of wrinkles long-term just by excessive facial muscle movement? So those are some things that you can do at home to improve skin firmness, but none of these things are actually going to replace lost volume in the face. When it comes to increased skin laxity, probably one of the things that comes to mind for most people in terms of correcting it is surgical, whether it be a facelift, a tummy tuck, loose skin removal, actually removing the skin. And a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to go that far. It's only subtle. Is there anything we can do leading up to that to avoid it? There are a lot of what are called minimally invasive procedures that can actually help quite a bit depending on the degree of laxity. Now let's talk about something that I think is a little underrated in this area, and that is Sculptra. Sculptra is an injectable. It's a type of filler. It is poly-L-lactic acid. In contrast to other fillers, which are hyaluronic acid, poly-L-lactic acid is actually what is in dissolvable sutures. And it's interesting, the way it works is it's placed in the skin, and over time, it stimulates collagen production and has a tightening effect. It is a great option, for example, in some patients who are ideal candidates for it. It's a great option for filling in hollow cheeks. It can help in terms of improving sagginess along the jowl area, in the neck. It's also an option for body contouring in select patients. It can improve the appearance of cellulite just by space filling and stimulating collagen production. The nice thing about Sculptra is that the results are long lasting. Now, in contrast to like hyaluronic acid filler, you don't really see the improvement right away. It takes several months because the process is stimulating collagen. It's called a biostimulatory filler. It takes about 4 to 6 months to really start to see an improvement, but it is long lasting. So I think that is a very underrated, minimally invasive option. As a side note, I have a whole video going into detail about Sculptra, what to expect, what it's like. So make sure you check that video out if Sculptra is something that you have on the brain, that you've heard about, you want to know how it differs from other injectables. We talk about it there, so I'll link that video in the description box. For subtle sagging, you also have ultrasound. This is a technology that that uses ultrasound energy to heat the deeper layers of the skin and stimulate collagen production. Now, a lot of people worry that these types of interventions are actually going to cause premature fat loss. They don't. The tools and the technology are such that it's not going to cause that. If you're still worried, I have some videos debunking fat loss related to energy-based devices, including red light and radio frequency. So definitely check those out if that's something that you've read about, online in a forum somewhere you're concerned about. We go over that there, but no, it's not a concern with these technologies. Ultrasound can help to tighten saggy skin around the brow area as the brows get droopy, along the jawline, the jowls. It takes some time to see results. A newer technique, though, for skin tightening is something called microcoring. The name of the device is Elacore. It's pretty new. The way it works is it basically removes little tiny cores of the skin, epidermis and dermis, but it does it on such a microscopic level that you can't see any evidence that it did anything with your naked eye. It doesn't cause any type of scarring, and there is very little downtime associated with it. But in the area where this device is treating and removing tissue, it can remove anywhere from 4 to 8% of tissue in that area. In contrast to other skin tightening devices, microcoring does not use any type of energy. It's just making these microscopic tunnels in the skin to actually remove skin. Say for mild laxity, you may actually only need one treatment, and it takes about 3 days to fully recover. By about 3 months, though, you can start to see results. This is something that could be used like on the abdomen to tighten loose skin on the stomach, maybe after weight loss. Now, if you have a lot of laxity there, a lot of skin overhang, like you've lost a lot of weight, you have the type of loose skin where maybe it's getting irritated, maybe sweat is getting trapped there, you're getting skin breakdown, you're getting skin infections, that's actually more in line with a situation where you may want to consider loose skin removal surgery. But for subtle, saggy skin on the abdomen, this is an option. Now, it's a newer technology, so I think we have more work to do in terms of perfecting the approach, but it's definitely an option. And if you want to learn more about it, I have a whole video talking about this in detail in terms of what to expect, the downtime, the types of results that you get, how it differs from some of the other treatments on the market. But this is a newer device, and it's something that may actually be used in addition to some of these other things to do sort of a multi-pronged approach. Maybe this, a little Sculptra. Then you have radiofrequency microneedling. Microneedling may sound an awful lot like microcoring, but it is quite different. Radiofrequency is a type of energy. With radiofrequency microneedling, basically little teeny tiny needles of varying depths are going to puncture the skin and deliver radiofrequency energy to a specific depth of the skin that's going to create heat, is going to stimulate healing pathways that ultimately lead to collagen production and a skin tightening effect. This is different from microcoring in that no tissue is actually being removed. It's the energy that is being delivered through the radiofrequency that stimulates the collagen, and to a certain extent the little tiny holes stimulate collagen as well, but it's really the radiofrequency energy being delivered. Whereas with microcoring, tissue is actually being extracted and removed. You just can't really see it with your naked eye, and there's no scar. And with microcoring, there's no energy device that is being used along with it. Now, there are a lot of radiofrequency microneedling devices on the market. You've probably heard of like Morpheus 8. Radiofrequency microneedling is a great option for saggy skin on the body, or where you have maybe moderate to mild sagginess. For example, a lot of people develop saggy skin over their knees as it relates to age-related change or weight loss. Radiofrequency microneedling is frequently pursued for saggy skin on the stomach, and it can be utilized to improve the appearance of cellulite. Like most of these treatments, it takes some time to really see results because it's relying on the stimulation of collagen production, which takes some time to lay down that healthy new collagen, but by about a month, you may start to see some skin tightening and improvement in skin firmness. Now, something that's been around for a very long time is a deep chemical peel, whether it be with phenol or very high concentrations of trichloroacetic acid. This can actually exfoliate the epidermis and get down to the dermis to stimulate collagen. The problem with deep peels is that they have quite a bit more downtime and they have a lot more risks associated with them, of things like scarring. Depending on the agent that is used, you may have to have your heart monitored in the case of phenol. Check out my video all about everything you need to know about chemical peels. Is a peel worth it? I go over the differences between the different depths of peels, what they can address, the downtime, what to expect with them. I really give you a lot of information about peels in that video. By and large, in my opinion, peels are underrated, but the deep peels, like with phenol or trichloroacetic acid, they're not going to be right for everyone because, again, they are a bit more involved. They do have more risks associated with them, but a benefit you may appreciate is a skin tightening and firming effect, as well as improving the surface of the skin and its smoothness and overall texture. There are also a variety of laser treatments that can resurface the skin and stimulate collagen, such as CO2 laser. So these are some treatments that a dermatologist may offer you for improving skin laxity, for firming and tightening. But in order to really tighten the skin, but once you get to a point where you have extreme laxity, especially if you've lost a lot of weight and you have loose skin to the point where sweat is getting trapped there and the skin is getting broken down, maybe you're getting a lot of little skin infections in that area, these procedures are not going to be adequate and you may be a candidate for loose skin removal surgery. That's something a plastic surgeon is going to do. It's going to be very involved. Regardless of where you are at in your loose skin journey, your journey to improving saggy skin, maybe this is the first video you have sought out for more information. One thing I want you to take away from this video is there is no cream or lotion that is actually going to correct loose skin. It cannot do that. The best you're going to get with skincare products is maybe a little bit of improvement in collagen if you're using a retinoid, or maybe an improvement in the moisture content of the epidermis. But a lot of saggy skin is below the epidermis. So don't fall for any claims of products claiming to tighten saggy skin. They're not going to do that. If you are on a weight loss journey and you are concerned about loose skin, talk to your doctor, talk to a registered dietitian about healthy ways to lose weight. Make sure you're not doing any sort of crash dieting where you have rapid weight loss. But loose skin is something that many people can expect with weight loss. There's nothing you can do to completely prevent loose skin if you are on a weight loss journey. To some extent, loose skin is to be expected if you're going to be losing a lot of weight. Now, some ways to maybe lessen it are to make sure you are losing the weight in a healthy way. You're not crash dieting and losing a ton of weight all at once. Make sure you are, following along with your doctor. If you are on one of these newer weight loss medications, definitely make sure you are following with a physician and you are being appropriately monitored. The dose is appropriate for you. If you can incorporate strength training exercises to build some muscle while also losing fat, that can, in theory, help balance out some of the volume changes and maybe help reduce to a certain extent loose skin, but it's not going to be a guarantee that you won't have some loose skin. Another myth though I hear about loose skin is that if you do intermittent fasting, it will prevent and remove loose skin due to autophagy, and that is false. I hear people on the internet claiming that, and it's not true. People who claim that intermittent fasting will trigger autophagy and get rid of loose skin, they don't know what they're talking about. To be blunt, they just don't. It's not going to do that. Either they're lying to you or they don't know what they're talking about. All right, guys, I really hope this video was helpful to you. Now, if you are interested in more information on microcoring, I'm going to link that video on the end slate so you can learn more about it if you want to watch that one. I also have a whole playlist on cosmetic procedures, so check that out if there is a procedure that you are interested in. I probably have a video covering it there. But if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.